Just a calculator. Joining us now is Reince Priebus, chairman of the Republican National Committee. Mr. Chairman, thanks for joining us.
Well, I could make it a lot more complicated when you start calculating actual delegate votes. So for every 3.33% of the vote, each Republican candidate will get one delegate out of Iowa.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can add that into your math.
That could be a rabbit hole, Mr. Chairman. Let me get your thoughts on what you're looking at here. The turnout, the early numbers, what you see in this race as you have this three-way race, really two-way at the top right now, and Senator Rubio in third.
Well, I see the same thing you all do. I mean, we have our own war room here at the RNC, and obviously the Iowa GOP is doing a lot of work out in Des Moines. It's going to be tight. Obviously, we've got a lot of candidates doing well. Someone's going to declare victory and have a great night, but there's going to be a few tickets out of Iowa. And, I'm seeing the same thing you are. I think the enthusiasm is off the charts. That's what we see in our Republican primary. I think that's been the positive in regard to our primary. Yeah, there's some drama and there's intrigue, and you know what? It's not always easy, but this fascination with these primaries, I think, is good for our process, and I think we're going to have a better nominee because of it.
Reince, thank you for being here. It's Megyn Kelly. So Karl Rove was saying moments ago that he thinks we could see as much as 150,000 turnout on the GOP side. Last year it was significantly lower. They were saying perhaps 138,000 this year. Now he's saying maybe 150,000. Do you believe it'll reach that high?
Yeah, I mean, that was the number I was just talking about before I got on the air when we were calculating the number, because I was wondering how the different networks were calculating the amount of total in, because it seemed like the calculation was too high for the number that we thought the number would be. So I was around 150,000 myself, and so I didn't hear that Karl had said the same thing earlier, but that's the same number I was running with myself.
Wow.
Mr. Chairman, what about this whole push for one establishment-type candidate, excuse me, to challenge Donald Trump and Ted Cruz at the top here? You look at the polls heading into New Hampshire, and obviously things can change. But what do you think about this effort? Will there be an effort by the RNC to narrow this field?
Well, we're not going to be in that effort. I mean, if folks out there are talking like that, it's news to me. I mean, our job is going to be to get behind the nominee, to put on a great convention, and go win this election once and for all for our party. So whoever our nominee is, no matter which one of the 10 or 11 candidates there are, we're going to be there, and we're going to be so much better than we were 4 years ago, and we're not going to embarrass our party, but we're going to have the best ground game, best data game that you can possibly imagine, and so far we're crushing the DNC. It's not even close.
So it's 9:36 here in the East, and it's 8:36 here Iowa time. Any prediction on when we'll know?
You know, I don't have a prediction on that, Megyn. I mean, just around here, we're figuring at least a couple more hours before we feel like we're going to be in a position to know. So, I mean, that, again, you know, that turnout number is the big issue, and how those calculations are going to be done. And I think you mentioned in the earlier segment, the difficulty here in predicting is that the votes are coming in kind of scattershot all over. So it's sort of hard to predict where these numbers are going to fall, because there isn't really a necessary pattern as far as how they're coming in.
RNC Chairman Reince Priebus, thank you for your time, sir.
Martha McCall